If you've been playing this manifestation game for a while and you're still not living the life that you would really want to be living, in this video, I'm going to let you know why none of the manifestation tools that you've been given have worked for you. And I'm going to explain the 3 things that I did differently that made everything click into place. And on top of that, I'm going to give you the fundamental mindset shift that will absolutely change everything. But before we go into all of that, I just want to recap on reality creation, like the major principles of reality creation. Okay, in a nutshell, we exist within 3 planes of existence. Yes, there are more planes, but for the purposes of this channel, we're only concentrating on the 3. And those 3 planes of existence are your spiritual plane, your mental plane, and your physical plane. And they all exist in this here moment in time and space. On the spiritual plane is every possibility that is ever possible. Yes, this is like a choose your own adventure storybook. Everything that you can possibly dream of has already been created in the spiritual plane. And the way that you access your particular adventure is by focusing on your mental plane, the storyline that you wish to adopt, that you wish to manifest into your physical plane. Everything on the physical plane has already been created. It has already been created by everything that you have previously focused on. So to change your physical reality, you need to change in your mental plane the things that you are focusing on. You need to pick your storyline from this adventure book of all possibility. Yeah. Now, what I know now that I didn't understand for the years that I was doing, all these manifestation techniques that weren't working for me, and working with all these coaches that just didn't seem to produce any results for me, is that when I was doing the techniques, my degree of consciousness was very much in the physical plane. So I was trying to change what has already been created. And that, honestly, it doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense to do that. But none of the coaches that I worked with previously were able to recognize that. And because they weren't able to recognize that, they weren't able to help me to shift the degree of consciousness that I was operating in into the mental plane. So I was actually creating the life that I wanted. It's like, in order for Apple to change and upgrade this iPhone, they had to redesign it. Yes, they couldn't change the physical iPhone that I'm holding just because they wanted to upgrade it. And that's what everybody is trying to do. And that's why these things aren't working for you. You're trying to change what's on the physical plane instead of creating a new reality in your mental plane. Yeah. Please let me know in the comments if this is making sense for you, because honestly, I really want you to get it. So to change the iPhone, to change the actual iPhone that people can grab into their hands, Apple needed to redesign it. And that started with ideas. That started with mental process, yes, in your mental plane. And then they were able to manifest it into the physical plane through taking the action that is required to do that. So the first thing that I want you to change is that before you do any exercises, any of these manifestation techniques that you have been taught, any of these manifestation tools that you have been taught, be aware of your degree of consciousness. Be aware where you are coming from when you're doing these exercises. Are you coming from a place of fear? Are you coming from a place of desperation? Because they are very low on the scale of consciousness, right? So before you do any of these tools, raise your consciousness all the way up to the spiritual plane if you can, yeah, and you can, because that's the essence of you, that's the real you that resides on the spiritual plane. Yeah, so raise your consciousness, get into your super conscious mind, which has access to the spiritual plane of existence, and know that all possibilities are open to you. And here's the thing, right? It's not just manifestation techniques that you should do these three things with. It's everything that you do. The reason I burned out of my previous business is because I was only operating on the physical plane of existence, right? I was very much in my fear, in my fear of losing everything that I had worked for. I was very much in this proving energy of proving that I deserved to be where I was. And all of that is operating from a very low state of consciousness, right? And it's really ironic that the way that I built the business was because I was absolutely in my mental plane and in my spiritual plane. I knew who I was. I knew that everything was available to me. It's only once I got what I wanted that I started freaking out and got really scared that it would all be taken away, which is obviously, bringing me back down from there. Suddenly, there wasn't all possibilities. Suddenly, the only possibility that I could see and that I kept rehearsing was doom, gloom, and failure. And when you focus on doom, gloom, and failure, that is what manifests, because that's what you're creating in your mental plane. That's the storyline, that's the adventure that you're picking, yeah, in the adventure book, the choose your own adventure book. So like I say, the number one thing that I have found that makes all the difference is raise your consciousness up to the mental plane and the spiritual plane, and understand that you are creating your life from there. So before you do any of the techniques, raise your consciousness first. Take a deep breath, close your eyes. Remember that you are infinite pure love energy. You are infinite pure love energy, and all possibilities are available to you right now. And like I say, I've worked with a huge number of coaches that couldn't tell me that this is what I was doing wrong, that I was approaching all of the manifestation techniques from the wrong plane of existence, from the wrong degree of consciousness. And I think that's why, I'm noticing right now that an awful lot of people that are finding me right now are people that have been through very many coaches and that haven't been able to manifest the life that they love. So I do encourage discernment. When people come onto a call with me, my calls are not your typical coaching call. I do not manipulate you in any way, shape, nor form. I don't tell you things like, well, where are you going to be in 6 months' time if you don't work with me now? You clearly don't want it enough if you're not ready to invest. All of that is manipulative bollocks. Well, it is, isn't it? And it's what I was taught. When I went through, I've gone on many courses to learn sales, learn coaching sales. And they've all been these really manipulative scripts. And they're horrible. They're horrible. So yeah, when you get on a call with me, it's literally a chat. It's what do you want from this? What brings you here and what do you want from this? All right, do you think I can give that to you? That's pretty much it. And the people that work with me know that, yeah, they are drawn to me. So many people that I've worked with, I've asked them, okay, so what was it? What was it that made you want to work with me personally? And it's I don't know, I was just drawn to you. You feel safe. I keep hearing that time and time again. You feel safe to work with. And honestly, that's like the biggest compliment. So I love it. So yeah, don't worry if nothing has worked for you before. Pick up everything that I'm putting down in this video, and I promise you that you will see results. If you follow this to the letter, you will see results. And that's not me saying do it my way or the highway. There are many, many, many ways, don't get me wrong. But I think this is like fundamental. And like I say, this is what worked for me. This is what made it all click for me. So give it a go. I invite you to give it a go. And if it works, awesome. Let me know. Let me know in the comments, because I adore reading my comments. I really do. And and I do an awful lot of coaching in the comments as well. So if you have any questions, then put them in the comments and I will respond, even if it takes me a day or two. And if you want to go even deeper, then you can get on my wait list to book a consultation call for private one-to-one coaching. You'll find the link in the description. I generally work with 6- and 7-figure business owners, entrepreneurs, and leaders in their field who know that there's more available to them. So yeah, the link is in the description. And if you scroll down, you will see the investment as well. And if that's if that's like a little out of reach right now, which, for a lot of people, I know that it is, and that's absolutely fine. You're exactly where you're supposed to be right now. Next month, on December 12th at 12 noon PST, I'm hosting a workshop that is going to go into all of this in the greatest detail possible. And the investment for that is just 1% of my private client work. You'll find the link to join the workshop in the description too. Okay, so number one is raise your consciousness. Raise your consciousness, enter that super conscious mind and the spiritual plane, and just remember who you are. Remember that you are infinite. Remember that all possibilities are available to you. And number two is align everything with the chosen reality that you want to experience, yes? So when I say that, that means align your thoughts, align your feelings, align your beliefs, align your actions with that reality. So imagine you've chosen your particular adventure in this Choose Your Adventure book, and then imagine that the adventure that you've chosen, the outcome of that storyline is a given. It is in a room at the end of the corridor. And all you need to do is just go to the door that's at the end of the corridor, right? But what happens is that along this corridor, there's all these doors and they're all open and they all try and grab your attention. Yeah. And like in one room there's doubt, in another room there's fear, in another room there's all of your family telling you that you're delusional and who do you think you are anyway? And in another room there's you saying all of that. So your job is to close off all of those doors. So getting to the room at the end of the corridor is easy. Just focus everything, align everything with who you choose to be, with the storyline that you're choosing to experience. So that's the second step. That was the second shift that I had to make. I had to fully align with the storyline that I wanted, with the outcome that I wanted. And that means not entertaining any other possibility. And when you do that, you're going to get intuitive hits of, oh, I should go there, I should do that, I should pick up this book, I should turn left instead of right, even though the map is telling me to head that way. Yeah? Once you know that the only direction that you're heading in is the door at the end of the corridor, you trust that every step you're taking is leading you there. You trust that even when the road is bumpy and even though everything feels wonky, you're still heading in the right direction. Trust me, when we decided that we were moving to Canada from the UK and then COVID hit, that seemed like a pretty big bump in the road, right? Like we literally spent months and months and months in Airbnb because we sold our house. We sold our 4-bedroom house and everything in it without a clear route of how to get to Canada. But I knew that we were coming. And so I was able to do that. I was able to take those steps. I trusted so much that the road is already laid. And lo and behold, January 2021, we got here. And it's awesome. And I'm living a life that I could never have dreamed of before. So if you want that too, come to the workshop. It's going to be amazing. Okay, number three is conviction in the technique that you are choosing to adopt. Because there is no technique that is better or worse than any other technique. It's the one that suits you the best. It's the one that you feel most comfortable doing. It's the one that amplifies your frequency, the frequency that you have gotten into by going up to your spiritual and mental plane, yeah? Because that's consciousness. That's consciousness, right? We all emit these frequencies, and the tools that we use just amplify the frequency that we are in. And this is why this is so important that you do this step, or you do these 3 steps. When you are doing affirmations from a consciousness of fear, it is amplifying the fear. When you're doing your affirmations from a consciousness of, I don't think this is going to work, what do you think happens? So get yourself into the state of consciousness that allows it all to work first, and then do the technique that amplifies that frequency. And you do that, like I say, by first connecting with the spiritual plane, then connecting with what you want to be creating in the mental plane, and then coming down to the physical plane and taking the intuitive action of the manifestation tools that appeal to you the most to amplify your frequency. And like I said, if you want to go into this in more detail, you can either get on the wait list to work with me one-to-one, or you can come to the workshop on the 12th of December, and it's going to be a really experiential workshop. I'm going to take you on an alpha wave journey. We're going to do guided meditations together. I'm going to give you a proper teaching into all of this. And best of all, you get to ask me all the questions, because I really want you to get this thing. This used to be the preserve of like the elite few at the top of society. And now we all know it. We can all know it, and we can all do it. We get to live a life that we absolutely choose. I wouldn't be here without, the Mohapi method to more. That's the name of the program that I teach, and all of the tools in that. And the fundamental thing that the majority of people teaching this stuff on YouTube, and all these coaches that have worked out what works for them, but maybe they haven't worked out why it works for them. So they teach you techniques, but they don't teach you the principles behind the techniques. And that, like I say, that was my experience. I want to teach you the principles as well as the techniques, because once you understand the principles, it all falls into place. And I said that there was a fundamental mindset shift that is also like a game changer. And the mindset shift is that you are manifesting the version of you that gets to have the thing, and not just manifesting the thing. You're manifesting the version of you That is why it's so important to raise your consciousness so you can create in the mental plane, knowing that on the spiritual plane, you are infinite. You are infinite pure love energy. You are manifesting a version of you that gets to have everything that you are creating in your mental plane. And that's the identity layer that we work with inside the Mohapi method to more. Okay. I really appreciate you being here. I love reading all of your comments. And if you have any questions, if you have any insights, if you have any aha moments, then I would love you to put them into the comments. I really look forward to either speaking with you for a one-to-one or seeing you in my workshop on December 12th at 12 noon PST. Recordings will be sent to anybody that can't make it live. And you will find another video just there. So watch that one next and just keep on shining. Keep being your brilliant, brilliant self and try and implement everything that I've said today. And I promise you'll notice a difference. All right, my lovely. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.